I'm Deniza. Welcome to Over the Hill and Into the Wild. I've got my trusty little backpack and you. Thank you. Let's go. We're gonna walk from where I parked up this trail. Now this is a wildlife access road, so we're gonna do a little bit of hiking on this gravel road and I'll meet you at the top. Oh, now look at this beautiful lake coming up. This is what it's all about. A great place to start exploring. So we're up here on this trail, not particularly far into the wilderness, not even close, but definitely in a wild place. Some beautiful wetlands here. And the trail now that goes up into the woods. So we're just going to do a little exploring today. This is something anybody can do. You do what you can at your level of fitness. If it's a stroll along a wide paved trail, or it's heavy-duty hardcore hiking high in the mountains, or a gentle canoe trip down a river, just get out there and do it. Nobody can tell you no. This is your life, and that's important, especially at our age. I'm hoping on this journey to interview the myriad, absolutely amazing, strong, resilient survivors, women of all walks of life, and everyone in between that have experienced all of the trials and tribulations and joys and hardships that life has to offer, because you're going to have them over the years. So we're going to pause for a minute. We've got some people coming up and I don't want to be rude. Not everybody wants to make a cameo in a YouTube video. I just wanted to show you the beauty of this lake that we're at, and then we're going to start hiking a little bit up here into the woods. Yeah, we're going to head right up there. It's an absolutely gorgeous example of typical Virginia woodlands. Now, I'm not from here. Take my sunglasses off now. I'm not from here, actually. I'm originally from Texas, but I've lived mostly all over the country, up in the Rockies and up towards Seattle and out in West Texas, and for a short period of time up in Michigan, and for the last 20 plus years right here on the East Coast. And it's beautiful. It has 4 seasons, and The weather's fairly mild, although the winters can get pretty harsh. But look at all of this lush greenery. Just incredible. We've got all sorts of roses and wineberries and all of the bounty that springtime has to offer. We're a little bit past all of the blooming trees you get here on the East Coast, but that's all right. But what we do have is ticks. So one thing I'm going to say is no matter where you go, make sure you know your environment. Make sure you know what the potential hazards are, big and small, and take proper precautions, even if you're just going for a short half an hour hike, which is just fine. Anything you can do to get out in nature and really enjoy it. There's actually places now where doctors are prescribing nature to treat all sorts of ailments, stress and depression, and potentially even as a holistic approach to blood pressure and other issues. I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but I read stories about these sorts of prescriptive applications of nature, and I'll tell you what, it makes such a difference just in my whole way of being. Can you hear? Can you hear the silence? Can you hear the birds? I wish you could smell the flowers, because they are so aromatic and so beautiful. As I've gotten older, I appreciate the beauty in the little things all that much more. It's truly astounding what you can find. I don't know if I can get this. Right here. So tiny and so beautiful. And every little thing, living thing out here is exactly that. As I said, on this journey, I want you to join me, and we'll be interviewing other women and hearing about their life's experiences, their joys, their traumas, their pain, and the good news stories that inevitably come when you survive. And can step out and become your best self. Live to your greatest potential. Or do the best you can getting there. All we can ask of ourselves, and the most we can ask for ourselves, is to become a better person today than we were yesterday. The one and only thing we must truly strive for in all our daily living, just to be a better person today. And I can't say everything else will take care of itself, because it doesn't necessarily, but it sure makes a difference. I'm going to take a little breather here, get some water. So we're going to keep walking up this trail. Now this trail is actually pretty narrow, pretty overgrown. I'm going to have to do a thorough tick check when I get back home this afternoon, because I'm brushing up against almost everything, hoping that I don't hit any poison ivy or poison oak, because that stuff just eats me up. But again, that's why we focus on knowing the local conditions, knowing what we're getting into. I've sprayed myself pretty well today with some insect repellent, heavy duty stuff that I know is reliable. I'm going to go through this one little stretch and assess this trail for a good, suitable place to take a break and maybe turn around. Because we've gone a fur piece at this point. This looks good. We're going to stop here, take a little break. So I've stopped here, taking a little break, catching my breath a little bit. Thought I'd give you a little look at what I brought with me. I have a lightweight pack, I have water, and I have a knife. I carry my knife on me at all times, just in case I should get into any situation whatsoever that I would lose my pack. At least I would still have my knife. And in a survival situation, if you've got that at least, you're probably all right. Now there's some other things that I never leave without. This is my e-bag. Inside it, E being for emergency. Inside it, I have a standard emergency shelter. Just a space blanket to wrap up in, keep me dry and warm in case the worst happened. A little bit of a compass to get my bearings. An emergency whistle, super lightweight, aluminum. At least one source of fire. Now it's amazing what a little straw will do for you in trying to get an emergency fire going. And some duct tape. Always your friend, duct tape is. And some waterproof matches in a waterproof container. On top of that, now that's a minimum. Water, a knife, and an e-bag. On top of that, got a little bit of a trash bag in case I come across anybody else's waste. Some snacks, and a light jacket. And the snacks are just some crackers and a mandarin. So we're going to pack this stuff back up. This is not the most elegant job, but I'm kind of new to holding this selfie stick. I'll pack all this back up and pick it up quickly because I probably picked up a tick or two. But hopefully the insecticide will have, insect repellent rather, not insecticide. We're not trying to kill things. We just don't want them biting us. Hopefully that will have discouraged any of the biting critters. Okay, so point a couple things out for myself. I'm wearing a light colored t-shirt. Now today, since I'm in Virginia, I know the weather's going to be quite temperate, and it's late afternoon, and I'm less than an hour away from my car. I'm okay wearing a light cotton t-shirt, and I'm wearing jeans today because they're a little more resistant to all the brush I'm walking through. Some trusty old low hikers that I've had for years. I know are comfortable and I know will not give me any kind of blisters. You got to have trusty shoes, because without your trusty shoes you can be in a world of hurt. One thing I learned through all my years, my early years in the wilderness, is that your feet are your most important asset when you're hiking, traveling through the wilderness. Without your feet, you are not going much of anywhere. I made the mistake once of wearing a pair of boots I hadn't worn for several years on an overnight backpack. It was supposed to just be a quick jaunt up a local Virginia mountain, and they were boots that were leather, and the toe boxes had shrunk, and I did not know it. And it was the first and only time, today excepted, I had ever been hiking without a spare pair of shoes. I'll tell you what, we got up that mountain in 45 minutes, and it took me another 3 hours to get down it and to our campsite. And once we finally hobbled out a couple of days later, because I was in so much pain I really couldn't walk or hike any further, I discovered my toenails had turned completely black, and they all eventually fell off. And that, my friends, is the importance of good footwear. Doesn't matter if you wear low hikers or hikers with some ankle support. That's obviously up to you and what you're most comfortable in. I've never myself had any kind of joint problems, although that's not true so much anymore now that I'm getting a little bit older. Whoops. My hips hurt if I don't have a little bit of good padding under me at night, and my hands hurt when I do too much with them, but that's to be expected about now. And it's one of the things that has helped me realize how important diet, exercise, and continuing to move, continuing to get out there, doing the things that really you're passionate about and bring you joy. That's what keeps us young, keeps us moving. And nobody should tell us that we shouldn't do it, or we're too old, or anything else of the sort. Because, as my very late grandmother would say, that's just pish tush. And here I'm dating myself using such an absolutely provincial and ancient term of slang. But that's okay. I don't mind showing my age because by golly, by gum, I've earned it. And so have you. And you should feel good about your laugh lines and your extra little bulges here and there. And the scars we all carry, whether they can be seen or not. You've earned it. You've survived. And the best, hopefully, is yet to come. I'm just so grateful. That's all I can say is I'm just so grateful to be here, to be able to be here, to enjoy the beauty of everything I see. I'm actually looking at a tree. Look at that beautiful old tree. I see it's taken a little damage too lately. But, you know, doesn't necessarily come with the territory. Usually comes with the years. Now, I hope you will bear with me as I learn how to do this YouTube thing. I'm by far a Luddite, but I've certainly never ventured too far into social media and not into posting myself. And I'm sure many of you will understand the reticence. But I feel like we've got something to offer. I've got something to give. I'm hoping to give of myself, to host and to facilitate and to cultivate a network of women and like-minded people all across the spectrum who understand that aging is what happens to the winners. And what happens when we've made it this far is that we've got so much to offer and so much to give and so much to share. So in future episodes, we're going to explore everything from how do you do it? What do you need to be able to get out into the wilderness and truly, truly just be and experience in all of its glory and all of its minute beauty nature as it's intended. Not sure there was any intent in nature, but here it is. The most amazing, complex, and beautiful space we could hope to be in, and all the beauty of the minds that explore it, and their stories, their good news stories, the things that we've learned and want to share with our younger selves and the younger generation, and how we survived and how we persevered. It's not all about the tragedies and suffering. That's not the point. Although it's a huge and invaluable aspect of our experience. Not that we'd ever have chosen to go through some of the traumas we've been through, but how we address them and how we come out of it. That's what we want to share. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I guess since I'm coming back to the trailhead, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.